My headphones are stuck in my head. We're good. 3, 2. Ah, no, they're stuck again. Okay, we're like 3, 2, 1. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me as always are my good friends, Kyle.
You're a mess.
And Hunter, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
I don't know what you're on about.
You?
That was the most perfectly timed. I'm always a professional, Kyle. Always true to form. I've worked myself up now. Basically...
Well, that's good.
I don't know if it'll be a bit. I don't know what's happening. My cable got stuck in my my wheel on one of my chairs, so I just like floundered around for like 20 seconds trying to fix it. It's fine. We're here because it's really, when you think about it, guys, I'm going to be a professional here and move it on. You know, it's a bit like a metaphor for this past week. You know, Summer Game Fest is a bit like when your cable gets stuck in your wheel and you're faffing around for 20 seconds trying to get it out, waiting for something good to happen.
In this case, 20 seconds is 2 hours.
Yeah, but we're here. We've been through it. We sat through both Summer Game Fest and the Xbox show. We've not seen Ubisoft Forward. We don't care. We haven't seen anything else, really.
I might check out that Star Wars game, but that's it.
We can talk about that in a bit. But we've seen the main. We've seen the main
Capcom was
two.
doing some stuff on Monday,
Yeah, and
which we couldn't have seen by the time we're recording
Yakuza
this.
devs, Rio, Gitaro are doing something as well, I think, as well. There's a load of people doing stuff. But no, we're here to talk about the Xbox and Summer Game Fest shows. We're recording this pretty late, so excuse us if it's a bit shorter than usual, because we've got to get this ball moving, because it's Sunday night, it's 10 p.m, this thing's got to be up, and I have to be at work at some point. So, you know, it's all fun and games. So we're going to do a rundown. Unlike the Stony State of Play one that we did, we're going to basically talk about our highlights and lowlights of each of the shows, and then sum it all up. Which one was better? Did we enjoy them? We'll talk all about it. So yeah, if you're new here, welcome on in. This is the HGO podcast. We're here every Monday around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern. Maybe not this week, because who knows how quick that'll be. Maybe it will be. Usually it's for audio anyway. But yeah, we're usually here every Monday to talk about everything we love in the world of gaming. If you search for Hot Games Only, you can find us on any podcast service, or go to youtube.com/Hot Games Only, where you can look at our stupid faces each and every week. Housekeeping. Me and Hunter have both finished The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so hit the subscribe button, get us to 200 subs. We're 3 off. We'll release a spoiler cast in the next week or so. So challenge accepted. Yeah. If you're new here and you want to see a spoiler cast, please hit that subscribe button. Me and Hunter will do it at some point during the week. That'd be awesome. Review will probably be pretty soon as well. I don't know how much progress Hunter's made on it, but
script is almost finished.
Perfect. Well, there you go.
Way to go.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Cheers, bro.
As we get later into the month, we've obviously got quite a few games coming out. We have got Game of the Century Crash Team Rumble coming out. I'll be reviewing that. We've got Final Fantasy 16. Is Hunter reviewing that? I assume Hunter's reviewing that. Or is it Kyle? Oh, Kyle's reviewing that. Even better.
We had it assigned to me, but we'll see.
Well, you know, who was assigned Street Fighter? That ain't happening. Well, hey, who knows? We'll see.
I didn't have anything to say on Street Fighter
it's
outside
hard to
of what
review.
I said
it's
in
hard
first
to
impressions.
review fighting games, to be honest, because there's not really too much you can say.
That was the issue I ran into with DNF. Not to sidetrack too much, but that's why that review never came out. Was just because I couldn't find the point of what I was trying to get to in that review.
I feel like it's really hard. We don't ever really talk about the review process, but to me, it's like I always see it as it's so easy to gush about a game that you think is incredible. Like a 5 out of 5 review is the easiest review you can write. It's so easy to write a 5 out of 5 review.
Yeah.
It's so easy to write. It's really hard. Yeah, it's because Hunter likes the easy way out. It's also really good and pretty easy to write like a middle to high 4 out of 5 because you know where you're going. Those kind of like in between 3 and 4, where it's like, you know, where it's like it's a low end of a 4 or a 3. It's so hard to write. They're like the
that's why I haven't
troubling
made
review.
A hesitant review, even though I've played games that I would give the 3 to. You know, I'm just not motivated to talk about them.
And it's especially hard if like the game genre itself is kind of niche, because like how do I go about if you're a fighting game player, you probably already know about DNF, you already bought it, you already know about Street Fighter, you probably already bought it. But to people who aren't fighting game people, how do I try and sell that to somebody? Because I like Street Fighter 6, but now how do I articulate
Yeah, good
what
luck.
I liked about that
It's like it's
game.
selling it to me, right?
How
It's
do
like
I
trying to
get
sell it to
how do I
me,
get Ethan to buy Street Fighter 6?
which
You
is
know?
good fucking
So,
luck, right?
Ethan, the story mode is as silly as the Yakuza games seem to be.
I'm in. No.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so we've got a load of reviews coming up. Like I say, Final Fantasy is coming up. Crash Team Rumble is coming up. Which at first, I know I've been joking for the past 3 months. Game of the century. I think that's going to be a very interesting game to review. So make sure you're here for that one because I don't know I don't know which way that one's going to land because
Speaking of games that are hard to sell to people,
everybody that plays it thinks it's pretty good. I'm also of that opinion, but it's hard to say. We'll talk about Crash Team Rumble in a little bit anyway. But plenty of stuff coming up, regardless. So make sure you're subscribed, and yeah, we really do appreciate it. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get ready to fumble. It's Summer Game Fest time. First, before we start, overall opinions, right? I feel like there's been two camps on the internet. Some people were like, "That was all right," and the other people were like, "I hated it." Which side of the fence are you guys sitting on for the show?
I can't remember anything about it.
That's the spirit.
It was as interesting as PlayStation's thing and wasted more of my time.
You see, I'm a bit nicer where I'm a bit nicer where I thought that there was more things that were interesting. Although saying that, I think it was just bad trailers, to be honest, because speaking of feedback and stuff like that, people are saying that Foam Stars game is apparently really fun. And I'm like, I don't believe you. That trailer was dog. It was not good. But everybody's saying it's good. And I'm like, maybe Sony just had really bad trailers, because especially when we talk about the Xbox thing, they had a load of good stuff at the Xbox show. So was Sony just stuck with picking up the leftovers? Because that's how it feels like it was. But yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle where I don't think it's... Some people were like, this is great. I'm like, it wasn't. There were so many slow and boring moments. But it also wasn't as bad as
Jeff's
people...
best thing. And I was like, you are foolish.
No, Game Awards was better, but I think it's in a step... It's a step towards the right direction in comparison to some of his other atrocities that he's committed over the past 3 years. It's nowhere near the levels of an opening night live. God help us for August. But it's not that level. But I still think there's a lot of room for improvement. So we've got a list up here. And, it's got some of the highlights. So we're just going to go bit by bit. So first up, the biggest thing at the show thing at the end. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming in early 2024. Unfortunately, it seems that IGN has missed the most important detail on 2 discs because they had to specify it. It's on 2 discs.
And I thought Star Wars was bad at optimizing their
Well, here's the thing. Star Wars has got enough stuff for 2 discs. They just decided to not put a disc in. Whereas I think at least I'm really hoping... Some people were like, what if it's 3 and they mean 1 install disc and 2 plays? And I'm like, they better not. They get that fucking idea out of their head. No.
So Rebirth is going to have 2 discs. Part 3 is going to have 3 discs. This is just squares.
That's why they re-released...
That's a lot of frisbees.
Escalations.
That's why they re-released part 1 on 1 disc for the PS5, because they're like, we can probably get out the final part of this before the end of the PS5 life cycle, like last year of PS5 is my guess, right? So I think they're going all in on the first one was 1 disc on PS5, second one's 2, third one will be on 3, and then the 4th one, because they'll lie and say we came up with too many ideas, will be on 4. It'll be great. But no, it's coming in early 2024. And I mean, is anyone surprised that it wasn't coming in December? I think we all agreed it wasn't coming in December. So, but it's coming. New trailer was very interesting. There were a load of new bits and pieces, some new tidbits, some
the way
familiar
it started
faces.
was especially interesting. Seeing them all being carted away, and I'm like, huh.
Do you want my theory? Shall I put my theory glass? I don't have my other set of glasses, but my theory glasses, if I'm putting my theory glasses on, that's Zach's timeline. That's my theory.
That'd be cool.
In Zach's timeline, everybody's dead. And it's so there's 2 timelines going on because of the whispers, and that's the one that Zach has been to, and because he goes into the church and he's like Aerith, and no one's there.
Not there.
Yes.
That'll be interesting to see what they do that way.
How does that tie into the actual story? No fucking clue. But that's my
some of the narration there seemed to be broaching a bit of uh, s- stuff that I don't think they got into until later in the original version. So that's interesting.
I think that a lot of people are like, why are they advertising 2 discs? Because original 7 remake was 2 discs on PS4, and I think whereas on the 2 discs was a necessity on PS4, I think the 2 discs that they're doing now, this kind of fun and games jive, is I think this game's a lot bigger than a lot of people are expecting it to be. Like, I
Disc
think
two
this
is
going
just the
yeah.
golden saucer.
Oh dear God.
Imagine. I
That'd be
do
so
think
good.
though that it is going to be longer than remake. I think that's the kind of thing I'm willing to suggest is there's either there's more optional content, or I think instead of it being like a 25, 30 hour thing, this might be a 40 hour, 45. Like, I think it's going to be a lot bigger. Which, I
I
mean,
feel like
I expected, because they've got a lot of
not
ground to
only
cover.
because not only do they have the rest of the first disc of the original story to get through, they also have to get through at least part of disc 2.
Definitely. And it's
So
like
it'll
they
be
want to get
interesting
through
to
it
see
in
how that divvies up.
They want to get through it at a reasonable scope, but it's coming. If I was to put a bet, if I was a betting man, I think it's going to be end of January. That's my guess. It'll take that Kingdom Hearts slot that a lot of people like now. That and last week of January slot is quite popular. There's usually a game there. Dying Light, I think, took it, or was that February?
I
Someone
think
usually
Dying Light
takes
was
that kind of
February.
slot.
But Kingdom Hearts took that, and Resident Evil took that the
That
same
was it,
year.
Resident Evil, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff there.
Dead Space took it this year.
It's a good slot. It's a good slot.
Yeah. People are excited to play something new after the year turns over.
Especially because December's always a fucking dry one. Like, it genuinely is. There'll be an
Right.
RPG or something, but that's about it. Anyway, Spider-Man 2 got a piece of concept art on an October 20th, 2023 release date. It looks good.
They didn't show anything new besides the dates and the like collector stuff, right? Because I just
and the
kind of
concept
skimmed
art.
past.
They showed
I
a new
kind of
piece of
skimmed
concept
past it,
art.
waiting for them to show me more like game, and never saw any. So
no.
I was
So
like,
all they said
cool.
was they showed the box art. They showed that pre-orders are available starting next Friday. It's launching on October 20th, and the big thing that for some reason they had to specify, Eddie Brock isn't Venom, and I feel like I had to. I don't know why you
really
specified it, because why the fuck were
seemed
people
obvious.
thinking that? Yeah, like people were going, oh, maybe it's a debate, and Harry was just started it, then it goes to Peter, and then it goes to Eddie, and I'm like, no, Harry's their universe is Venom. I swear they've set it up in the past 2 games. They're not gonna not use that.
If Venom lands on anyone that isn't Harry after it gets on Peter, I think it would land on Craven, and that'd be like super
That'd be
suited Craven
sick.
Venom.
That would be sick.
It's the final boss.
That's a good bet, to be honest. Like, Craven. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, actually. So maybe that is the play, that
because like I think that could be pretty cool.
They're framing
if they
2
did
villains
that.
and then it actually becomes one.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty cool idea. So who knows? Anyway, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. New Prince of Persia game coming next year.
Seeing this cracked me up at first. Like at first I was just kind of chuckling because they broke the remake so bad they had to make a new game, and then the more the trailer went on, I'm like, oh, this actually looks good.
They basically said that they have taken the kind of ideas of the original Prince of Persia game and have turned it into a Metroidvania. So they're taking the platformer and meshing it with Metroidvania. Seems like it'll be a lot of fun.
It looks like it'll be pretty good. I'm eager to play this because I only ever played Sands of Time and never really got my hands on the other 2 PS2 games in that trilogy. But I'd like to play more of this, and it's too bad Ubisoft killed the series in the advent of Assassin's Creed.
It's always funny because it's one of those accidental deaths, really, where it's like they never intended to kill Prince of Persia off. It became something else, and then they never went back to like redefine it. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But no, that's coming January 18th, 2024.
It's made by the Rayman team, right? Or the Rayman Legends team. Yeah, I thought that's what I read.
Which makes me happy that they're revitalizing something else, but I wish they'd also revitalize Rayman, because my god, I would love a new Rayman game. I can't believe they made the best Rayman game ever made, one of the best 2D platformers ever made, and then they were like, and we'll stop right there. Yeah, and I'm out. Crazy. Mortal Kombat 1 got some gameplay. Hunter, as someone who's played Mortal Kombat 1, how do you feel? Well, Mortal Kombat, you haven't played Mortal Kombat 1, but as someone who's played Mortal Kombat, how do you feel about it?
So last week I said my prediction was that I would be unimpressed, and in some cases I'm on the fence about it. Like some of these characters still look like weird dollar store designs of each other, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero don't look right to me. But Kenshi's design was pretty sweet. He got that cool coat and he's walking around with a sword and whatnot. Some of the combos they showed in the like actual gameplay footage seemed to be pretty neat as far as seemed to chain into each other very fluidly.
Mm.
As far as the story bits are concerned, it seems like they are actually taking advantage of resetting the world this time and are doing something different with it rather than just telling the same story again but worse. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about this still, but it I think it has the potential to for me to like it more than the last two that I've played or the last two that have come out.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, is it seems like gameplay impressions from press when they were playing over at Jeff Keighley's, whatever it's called, Days of Play or whatever it's, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
People
Days
seem
of
to be
Play,
pretty
I think.
positive about it. So
Yeah,
maybe the proof is in
like
the actual
I don't know.
gameplay.
Getting a demo would probably help me decide on whether or not I would like to play more of it than just whatever I'm gonna play when someone else I know buys it.
uh, okay. Remember, we are skipping stuff, so sorry if we missed stuff out. Sonic Superstars is a new 2D Sonic game. It's coming this year, full price. That enraged Twitter. I love this argument that we have every time a 2D game comes out. Everyone thinks that it's not worth full price just because it's 2D. I think it's stupid. And to be
It is
honest,
stupid, but
I'm not gonna
you
lie.
know.
I was looking at it and I'm like, that's kind of cute. I like the way it looks. It looks like it plays
Yeah.
pretty well. It's made by the team that made Balan Wonderworld, so it might be shit, but you know,
Oh.
it could also be good.
It's supposed to come out this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Fall.
Fall, no date.
Cool.
Next one, Alan Wake 2 looks like it has taken a lot of inspiration from Resident Evil. It's coming out October 17th and is stepping into the horror genre a tiny bit more. You play as two characters, Alan Wake and Saga Anderson, with a 50-50 split. You can swap between the two stories at any time, which we all know how that's going to play. Everyone will play as Alan Wake. They'll get to the part where they're no longer allowed to play as Alan Wake. They'll swap to the other story, or they'll do vice versa, because no one swaps between them going, oh yes, that's a good place to swap. I'll do that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, probably not.
Unless you force
but
people, they're just going to play through one to the end and then do the other one to the end and then watch the joint finale when you're forced to do the ending after beating both of them. Just makes
Yeah.
sense. How are you feeling about it, Hunter?
So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of gameplay that they were showing. At least not anything. Like most of it was just the lady walking. So
Some good walking,
but-
though, Hunter. Some good walking. Those animations. It looks very Resident Evil.
Yeah, they did a
Yeah,
good
it
job
does,
remaking Resi 4's intro.
but it does seem like so one of the things in the first Alan Wake was that whole you had to shine the flashlight on the little shadow monsters to be able to shoot them, and thankfully in this game it seems like the whole process of doing that is much quicker, because I feel like trying to do that to the monsters in the first game, I was pointing the flashlight at them for half an hour before I was able to shoot them. In this one, it seemed like, oh, just shine it on them a little bit and then they're vulnerable. So that's nice. I feel like being a full-on horror game is going to give the gameplay more direction to actually, be more enjoyable to control.
It does seem interesting. I don't know. It's weird, right? A lot of people seem to be excited about it, and I can't tell if it's just kind of gamer zeitgeist. And what I mean by that is, in the same way that I'm excited for Crash Team Rumble like a stupid Crash fan, right? To me, I'm very excited, but I don't know how much outside of the bubble people are actually excited about it, because it's like I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't think I'll ever play it. Not because I don't like horror games, because to be honest, this looks very Resident Evil 4-ish. So I was like, if I was going to play one, I might try this. But also, I'm not, as with the week it's in, I think it was very, I think everyone was like, oh, cool, good release date. And then literally everybody else
everything
after them
else
was
got
like,
announced for
same
that
week,
as
same
well.
week, same week, same week. Yeah, like just back to back.
I wouldn't be shocked if it got moved either forward or backwards.
Just
Just
hear
a
me
little
out, hear
bit.
me out, Alan Wake. Just do it a week, move it a week. Maybe
Yeah.
it's the 17th of October that the release date's set for. So I would even, yeah,
Coming out on the
week and a half.
24th would be a
Move it.
solid.
24th or
Fl-
even
you'd potentially be wrapping it up around the time that Halloween is happening.
27, or just go full in on Halloween. Release it on the 31st, even if you need to get out of the way of people. Just be like, scary game Halloween. It'll work. People play Resident Evil in January. It's fine. We can work with it. Like a Dragon Gaiden is coming this November, digital only. Alan Wake also digital only. This is the future apparently. But yeah, like a Dragon Gaiden.
There's some publisher trying to get Remedy to become or let them make a physical version for them. I can't remember who it was though.
Wasn't that THQ?
THQ Nordic.
Yeah,
THQ Nordic.
They did the original.
See, I read our group chat.
Yeah.
God, someone does.
So.
But yeah,
So,
like
it'd be
Dragon
nice
Gaiden,
if they could make that happen.
Like a Dragon Gaiden, November 9th. Spin-off starring Kiryu. It's more of your classic beat 'em up. Looks fun. It has the hostess mini game back, so you can guarantee your boys back because you don't understand that management sim mini game. They could make a whole fucking video game out of it. It's that good. So I'm in, baby. Son of a bitch, I'm in. I'll skip all the other games and just play that. I don't give a shit about the plot. Straight in. It's that good of a mini game. Trust me. Let's skip a couple. Does anyone care about? I'll just run some. Does anyone care about Star Trek? No. Does anyone care about that John Carpenter game that looked kind of shit? I don't think.
I got debated by that because they were like something from John Carpenter, and I'm like, ooh, and then it was just a generic like zombie game. And I'm like,
ooh,
debated. Sandland is coming to PS5. That looked like a video game. Pal World is like Pokemon but with guns. That was dumb. I love that. That was stupid.
This was a really funny trailer though.
It was, but no, I don't think it was for the right reasons. Like,
yeah.
But hey, it's there. If you have ever wondered what a group of Wooloo with machine guns would look like, now you can play Pal World and have a fun time. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis baited everybody out. My favorite moment of this show was when, speaking of Final Fantasy, audience cheers and he says, DoorDash has your back. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell the link was, but I loved it and it was great. It was my favorite part of the show. I genuinely cried. It was great.
That wasn't good. That was good.
I don't know.
Twisted Metal on Peacock.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't Nod. Don't Nod's releasing another game called Banishers Ghost of New Eden. It's an action RPG.
It looks like it might be more interesting than Vampire was.
Like I said, we were having this conversation during the Xbox show.
I still don't know if I'll play it.
We were having this conversation during the Xbox show where I'm like, I feel like Don't Nod keeps trying to branch out, and I'm happy for them to branch out, and I like people branching out. But I also feel like they're one of those developers that can't get away from their roots. And it's like...
See, at least with this one, it seems to be maintaining some of the choice-based stuff and the goings-on of the story. So it could be interesting still.
Yeah, and I hope it is. Because I like Don't Nod. I've been replaying Life is Strange this week because I need games to play, so I'm replaying through the remasters of Life is Strange and Before the Storm. The remasters aren't very good, by the way. This is how bad. Brace your fucking selves for this, guys. The remasters are that bad, I'm playing in fidelity mode. I turned performance mode off because that's how bad these remasters are. They're super blurry. If I'm playing at 30 FPS, you know it's bad. But those games are still so fucking good. I absolutely adore the original Life is Strange. It's gone up in my estimations since I played it. And I'm like, I didn't know that was possible, but it is. So I love Don't Nod, and I wish they would do more. So I'm hoping it's good. We'll see. Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3. That's a game. You can go play it. I'm not talking about it. Twisted Metal had that awful fucking bit. Like, can we talk about how awful that clip of Twisted Metal was? It was just... It wasn't funny. It wasn't interesting. Will Arnett voicing over Samoa Joe's like character. And
it's so weird
because
I think it's maybe just because I know that Will Arnett and Samoa Joe are two different people going into this, but it's like this weird pantomiming going on.
You can tell that it's not the same. Like you can tell it's
like, yeah, it's like. You know, with James Earl Jones doing the voice of Darth Vader and whatnot, I can still believe that was happening. They managed to trick me into believing that, and that does not happen here.
It's just, it was not good. And again, I don't think Sony knows what they're doing. And I think we'll get to the Xbox show, but I think Xbox has said for years now, next year's our year. And I am starting to believe legitimately that 2024 is that next year is the year, because there are games coming
finally
out.
tip.
And Sony's responding with Anthony Mackie in a Peacock Twisted Metal show, and I don't think that's the right plan, to be honest. But you know what? It is what it is. Street
Who is this
Fighter.
for?
No one.
Know.
That's my question. Like,
No
People who
one.
like
Who
the
is the
Cowboy
show
Bebop
for?
Netflix show. That's who.
No one liked that. It got
No
cancelled
one
Yeah,
instantly.
exactly.
liked that. That
Exo
flopped so
Primal
bad
is
they
getting
canceled
a
the
Street
second season.
Exo Primal's getting a Street Fighter 6 crossover. We all
So
laughed.
because I was skimming over a lot of this, I wasn't able to keep track of all of the war crimes at this show, but this was one of them.
My favorite tweet was, because this was before the Nick Cage section. So my favorite tweet was no, it wasn't a tweet. It was Kyle Bossman on the Easy Allies podcast, because I was listening to him, because he works for Jeff Keighley. He does like a load of behind the scenes stuff for him on these shows, and he said that his favorite moment of the entire show was because Nick Cage was genuinely engaged and interested in learning about gaming, like the gaming kind of sphere, because he's genuinely interested. You can tell by the Dead by Daylight bit. So he was watching he was like obsessively watching this Exo Primal like Street Fighter crossover thing as it was being announced. He was going, interested. So it's just like, just imagining in my head, Carl Moss was like just watching Nick Cage watch the Exo Primal Street Fighter 6 trailer, and I'm just like, that's incredible. It would have been a much better trailer if you just had Nick Cage on the screen watching it.
Live Nick Cage reaction.
They weren't very clear about how this crosses over either, whether it's going to happen like you play as Ryu and Exo Primal, or vice versa, as far as someone from Exo Primal showing. So I definitely don't care about being able to play as Ryu and Exo Primal, but if you're telling me that I could potentially play as like a Velociraptor in Street Fighter, I'd be down for that.
From
We're
the looks
taking
of
the
it,
Tekken approach to our character roster.
Exactly. From the looks of it, it looks like it is in Exo Primal, but also you do not make a Mecha Ryu skin like that and not put it on your store and sell money for it for Street Fighter 6. So I think it'll be a double bill. I do like the robot Ryu skin. It's pretty cool, to be honest. It's pretty cool. I like it.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Lies of P gets a new release date and a demo. I played the demo. I did my job. I played the demo.
Yeah? How was it?
It's surprisingly good. I liked it quite a bit. It's not.
That's cool.
It's basically Bloodborne, but it's not. It has a lot of differences, to be honest. I do have a few critiques of it. The camera sensitivity is way too high. The dodge isn't very good. There's make the dodge better. It feels like Final Fantasy VII dodging, where there's no iframes and you just kind of fucking potato everywhere. So, not incredible. But the world design, the graphics and all that stuff, I love it quite a bit. It sounds stupid that it's about Pinocchio, but it's surprisingly I just like the way it rolls. Like you've got like the cricket is like your lamp, so it's like the Bloodborne kind of lamp and stuff like that. It's called Gemini instead of Jiminy because it's like a robot kind of thing. It's got some cool stuff to it, and it's got a bit of Nier kind of atmosphere in it because it's got like a decrepit carnival and stuff like that you go through.
That's the thing about this one that's stuck out to me as far as all of the imitation Souls games and whatnot is, for there being so many of them, a lot of them seem to copy the Dark Souls motif. And this is the first one that's been more like, oh, this is clearly more inspired by Bloodborne, and that helps it even stand out a little bit.
It has 3 classes. It has your regular kind of attacker. It has your dexterity build, so very rapid, kind of quick succession chip damage build. Then it has your Unga Bunga class, so you have those 3 classes. And then you also have it has the Bloodborne weapon durability system. But what it has is there's on the down, if you your down item is sharpening your blade. So you actually have to do that mechanic by using your metallic arm to sharpen the blade to get its strength back up. And I was just stuff like that. I'm that's kind of cool. I like how that works. The arm's very similar to Sekiro as well, where you can swap it out and have different abilities on it. So it's it very much kind of is. It's slower paced than Bloodborne and it's slower paced than Sekiro, but it's got a lot of stuff there, and I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's going to do quite well, to be honest, especially on Game Pass. I'm pleasantly surprised, and now I'm not too scared of having put it on my fantasy draft.
That's coming out the same week that Alan Wake was slated for, right?
It's September
It's coming out
19th.
September 19th.
Okay.
So it's just after Starfield. So some
This
tough
will be my
competition, especially on
September
Game
game,
Pass.
probably.
But,
So Hunter, there will be something for us that week too.
Yeah. Ethan's
it's a
not
couple
gonna
weeks
be
after.
here, so we're gonna be talking about Lies of P instead of Starfield.
Well, we don't
it's
have
2 weeks
Xboxes.
after. Yeah, you can play. You can play on Hunter. You can play it on PC Game Pass. It's on PC Game Pass.
Ooh.
Oh wait. Lies of P isn't coming to the other consoles.
You can also buy it on PS5
Oh,
if you
yeah,
feel if you feel so
I
inclined.
think he was talking about Starfield.
Oh, Starfield.
Yeah, but I don't wanna
Starfield.
do
You're just
that.
gonna have to sit on them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My computer couldn't handle Hi-Fi Rush, so it sure as heck can't handle Starfield.
I'm really hoping that the review embargo, because I'm supposed to be away, is after I leave, because I really don't want it to be like, this game's phenomenal, and I end up packing the Series S, because if I ever get to that point in my life where I'm packing consoles away while I'm to go away, that's when I need to go and see help. So hopefully Latin doesn't come to it. Anyway, more important things. Fuck Lies of P. Netflix shares The Witcher 3 Season 3 trailer. Only kidding. Go fuck yourself. Also go fuck Warhammer. Jeff, stop putting... I know you have to pay the bills, Jeff, but stop going to Warhammer for those bill payments, please. I'm sick of seeing them. Nick Cage and Dead by Daylight. Honestly, one of my highlights of the show was Nick Cage talking about Dead by Daylight.
The best celebrity appearance that Keeley's ever done.
Oh yeah,
he actually seems like he gives a shit. Like he genuinely is interested. And I've read interviews. Apparently, his son's a fan of Dead by Daylight. Yeah, apparently his son's a big fan of Dead by Daylight. So as soon as they called him and his son was like, "Wait, Dead by Daylight's calling, you should do it," he got super interested because he's interested in what his son likes. So it's like,
yeah.
And from the way, like I say, talking about how he was watching the Mecha Ryu Exoprimal trailer, right? It genuinely does seem to me like he does want to do game stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first of many things that he does.
When Keeley was introducing him, and he said something like, "Hey, you would have guessed that he'd show up in a Kojima game or something." I'm like, yeah, honestly, that'd be a great thing to put him in.
He should. But anyway, Nick Cage is coming to Dead by Daylight on July 25th, and I mean, that, like, I saw a load of people being like, I don't give a shit about Dead by Daylight, but Nick Cage has almost sold me on this video game, even though I don't care for it. And I'm like, fair play, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, that I might be so inclined to go into it by Nick Cage.
And like, if this gets Nick Cage into like more video game related projects, like I'd love to see him in a single player horror game as a player character or villain. Either way, it'd be great.
I'd like to see him in anything, to be honest. Yeah. Like even as a cameo or an Easter egg or something like that. Every time you show, like I say, I don't go out of my way to go and see Nicolas Cage stuff, but whenever he shows up in something, I'm always pleasantly surprised. Like when I watched Into the Spider-Verse for the first time, and he's playing Spider-Man Noir, and I'm like, that's such a fucking great casting. Like I'm like, that is actually perfect casting right there. That's so good. Kyle was right. Honkai Star Rail did get a PS5 release window. It's Q4 2023. What the fuck are they doing? I don't get why it's taking so long. We thought it'd be like the following month. Weird. Anyway, enjoy Weebs. You can just keep wasting all of
that one. Do anything for you, Kyle?
No.
Space Genshin's not gonna make you relapse.
No.
Well, that's good.
I played the intro and I'm not made for gacha. I'm not made for it. I'm not made for sitting and playing hundreds of hours in a video game.
Yeah, Hunter, until my backlog runs super dry, I probably won't even think about
this. The one thing I will say about Honkai Star Rail, which I will give them credit for, is they have like a history system for missions, so you can go back and replay past events and missions, so you don't miss out on content as much like Genshin. So that's one positive. And two,
that's something I feel like more MMO kind of games should probably do.
Definitely.
Yeah. And
also, it does seem like there is more story to Honkai, and it seems to be a bit higher quality than Genshin's just like shit out an area. Here's some shite. But also, it's still hot. It's still a Hoyo game, so it's still a grind-a-thon and very tedious. And I'm sure people spent way too much money on it already. A few final little tiny bits. Listvanger, Time Shifting Warriors, a new hack and slash game. Hunter, did you remember this one? Did you care about this one at all?
The time shifting. This one looked kind of neat. I'd be interested to see more of it. Yeah, it's got a cool visual style, and I'd like to see more of it.
It's interesting. Fae Farm gets a release date for September 8th for Nintendo Switch and PC. It's like it's your annual comfy farm sim game, and I'm not gonna lie, I might pick that up because I am away at that point. So who knows? I like I like cozy farm sims. What can I say? Stardew Valley is up there. It's great. So yeah, still waiting for his sequel, the Haunted Chocolatier. I'm still waiting for that. That's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be peak. That is my Undertale. That is my Deltarune right there in terms of indie game sequel things that I'm really excited for. That will take forever to come out. That's mine right there. I love.
That's your Silk
considering
song.
That's my Silk Song. No Silk Song. Didn't even think about that in Xbox. Where the fuck is Silk Song? Anyway, that's not coming out this year. Party Animals gets a release date. That game looks really fun. It's a shame it's an Xbox exclusive. That's all I'll say on that
Yeah,
one.
it looks like Gang Beasts, but with like specifically animals. It's funny.
Hey, I mean, yeah. Hey, I mean, you and Sam play games on PC sometimes. Maybe maybe we can get a part if it's got crossplay.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe we can chuck it around. It'd be fun. And that's about it for the show. There's other little bits and pieces. Xbox showed a fucking Porsche Xbox. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
That's it. It was fine. It was.
I mean, there was some high highs in this conference, but there's also some really low lows, and I think that's the biggest issue with Keighley shows in general. But
There were
this one
there were
especially.
definitely a couple of instances in that show, especially that I can recall. These two games shouldn't have been shown right next to each other. Like there was that like Sword and Liberty game or whatever shown right next to another generic looking medieval combat game, and I'm like, I could barely tell the difference between these two. Earlier on in the show, I was watching this with my older brother, and I think it was Witchfire, the one first-person steampunky shooting-looking game, was followed directly by like Remnant from the Ashes 2, and he was like, they shouldn't have shown these back to back. I can barely tell the difference. I'm like, the perspectives are different, pal. One's in first person and one's in third person, and this third person one is more sci-fi slanted. That being said, they both do look, they shouldn't have been shown together.
Definitely. It was like I say, it was a mixed bag. There were some high highs, but man, some of it fucking dragged. But hey ho. Better luck next time, Jeff. See you at opening night live in August, where I will definitely have worse things to say because that's always the worst show of the year. So
I sure can't wait for I sure can't wait for the Dragon Age trailer that's probably closing that show.
I really hope not, because I don't even care about that, and that's sad because I should care. But anything at this point, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Any of the kind of bringing back old IP at the moment, I'm just like, we'll talk about it. Xbox show. Overall opinions. Xbox has games apparently. Overall,
they had
opinion,
a lot.
I think this was the strongest show by
the
far.
ones that they've been, between from like the PlayStation thing a couple weeks ago to Jeff's thing to this one. I think it was the best one, easily.
And I'd also like to say that even if Sony and Jeff had a strong show, I'd still say that this show was also a strong show. It's not good by default. This was a good show from Xbox.
They had a bunch of stuff here, and they had gameplay in a lot of it, so that's nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Like I say, so we'll start off. Speaking of old franchises, which I wish I would care for, but I still cannot get excited for this one. Fable has been re-revealed. It's coming at some point. But yeah, it showed a bit of gameplay. And it also had Richard Ayoade in it, who is Richard Ayoade is a UK comedian who I like quite a lot. I can't tell if it was just for the trailer or if he is an actual character in the game. To me, that kind of seemed like it was just for the trailer. But regardless, that was quite fun. I liked the trailer, but again, it's one of those things where it's like, we'll talk about it with Avowed as well, where I'm just like, I'm seeing these games and I'm like, this should be cool. I have an Xbox, so I should be excited to start playing some stuff on that fucking machine. I just can't get into it yet. I just can't. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of Fable. It's because I still think that this game is 3 years away. I don't like, it could be sooner, but I still think it's a 2025, 2026 game.
Like, Fable's one of those ones that I was always kind of interested in, but couldn't play, so, I'd be fascinated to see more of it. Hopefully it's good.
I'm hoping so. Anyway, next up, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty is coming. You guessed it, end of September, because of course it is. It's coming September 26, 2023, to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. No last gen. There's been a lot of impressions. I thought the trailer, I'm like, it looks like Cyberpunk. It looks like they fixed Cyberpunk. That's pretty cool. More Cyberpunk. Happy days for those people. Still haven't played it. I'll get to it eventually. But looking at the previews, people are genuinely saying that it's like Phantom Liberty is what Cyberpunk 2077 wish it could have been. People are saying that this is basically the rejuvenation. They've gone back and fixed it. And if that is the case, and I don't mean fixing it in terms of bugs, but they've redone the progression systems, the skill trees, everything about it. They basically restarted from scratch. If they've done that, fair play. I'll wait for it to finally come out. I've been saying this for years. I've waited 3 years for the good version of the game to come out. Looks like it might finally be here by November. That's cool. I say by November because you'll need a couple of weeks for patches. You know how it is. But, you know, I'm happy to see it. Also, I like Idris Elba and I like Keanu Reeves. And I know that they do that just to get people hyped. It works for me. I'm a fucking sucker. Take my money. I'll buy it eventually. It looks like fun. Avowed is coming in 2024. The game that we originally thought was just a Skyrim thing looks a bit different than we last saw it. But yeah,
it looks really fluid in its gameplay there. It's got a bunch of neat stuff going on in it.
It looks to me, it's coming next year. It's only on Xbox X and S and PC, not on the last gen. And to me, it looks like originally when they greenlit it, it looks like they were trying to do Outer Worlds. It was Outer Worlds. God, those two games coming out at the same time was not a good fucking idea.
No.
But the Outer Worlds being basically Obsidian's take on Fallout, their own IP doing Fallout.
Yeah.
And I think it was originally greenlit as, oh, you did Fallout. You did like a Fallout clone that people liked quite a bit. Do an Elder Scrolls clone.
Skyrim clone.
Yeah, do an Elder Scrolls clone. And then they bought Bethesda, and I assume they were like, yeah. And I think they probably were like, shit, make it your own. Go back on it. So from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's more about party interaction.
Oh, I mean, they could have still cloned Elder Scrolls, and it wouldn't have mattered because you're still not going to get the next Elder Scrolls until the next console.
True. It's going to be a long, long time. I think it'll be less of a gap between Fallout 4 and Starfield, just because we'll get to Starfield, but Starfield seems like one of those games where they just kept expanding what they wanted the game to be and never brought it back in, and it got too big. 1,000 planets, that's fucking dumb. Like, in a good way, I'm sure, like, we'll talk about Starfield, because even though we went off after the conference, I did go and watch the Starfield section, because I'm like, I need to know what this game is so I can at least feel something about it. But no, this game looks interesting. It's not as open as a Elder Scrolls game. It's also more based on your companions and the story dynamics rather than just going out and exploring everything. So
sounds like something that would be more my speed.
Yeah, I'm interested, and I'll definitely be playing it next year, if it comes out next year, as we know what Xbox is like for delays. There's a black Xbox Series S. As I'm calling it, the Starfield machine. They've realized what they're doing here. So yeah, if you don't have a PlayStation and you don't have a PC and you wanted Starfield, this is the reason they're releasing this bad boy. It's the same thing, but it's got a terabyte on it. It's $50 more? It's like the Wii U Deluxe pack. Someone Wii U Deluxe the Xbox Series S. It's fine. I already have a Series S and X because don't ask me why, but you know.
Hey, what'd you get an S for?
He doesn't use either of them.
No, my parents used the S. I got an Xbox Series S for my parents because they were planning, well, they still are planning at some point in the next year to get a 4K TV, and they needed a 4K streaming thing. And I was like, while you go through Fire Sticks like it's fucking they're chocolate, dude. They're just, Fire Sticks are garbage. You get through them so quickly, they turn shit. So I was like, here, this Xbox will be good for like forever in terms of 4K, because consoles are pretty good when it comes to not fucking up too much if you're just streaming. So that's why I own a Series S. And it was also, so I was like, and if I ever move out, you can still get a hold of my Game Pass if you want to play games on there. There you go. Win-win for everybody. Except for my wallet, I guess. But hey-ho, there you go. It's a smart idea releasing a Series S for Starfield. Speaking of Starfield, it's a video game. This trailer did nothing for me, I'll be honest. I was like, eh.
So yeah, this trailer did nothing for me either. I was like,
I
okay,
don't think I paid attention
because
to this trailer.
because I thought that they were just gonna do all of the Starfield stuff at the end, so I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting for them to throw a trailer in the middle. I was like, okay, I'll give them 5 minutes for the Starfield stuff at the end before I turn it off. And then they had this trailer. I'm like, well, this does nothing, and then they lost their chance for me at the end. So,
I guess we'll talk about Starfield now because we're here. We'll talk about all of it. Unlike Xbox, we'll do it all in one chunk. I didn't care for the trailer. When I watched the direct, I finally got it, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll like this game. Not because it's bad or anything like that, but because of the scope and how open it is and all that jazz. But looking at it, I'm like, man, this is kind of not Tears in the Kingdom in terms of like the breadth of it, where it's just like they did not know when to reel this bad boy in, and that's why it's taken nearly 8 years to get this game made. Is because there's over 1,000 planets. They made a generation system to make sure every planet is you can explore all. There's not stuff on all of the planets, but you can technically, if you want to walk around all of them and go and explore, you can go and do all of that. There are so many missions and side quests and planets and galaxies. It's ridiculous how big this video game is. And then when you think that, you know, that's already an accomplishment to make a universe that big, but then to cram a Bethesda RPG, which if people know what Bethesda RPGs are like, they are so dense and full of so much random shit and so much intricate like systems that are built into each other. It's fucking crazy. I said it on Twitter and I'm pretty confident in saying it. If any game has a chance of being the God of War Ragnarok to Elden Ring last year to this year's Zelda, it's probably this, just in terms of scope, because it's the only game that I'm seeing that has that kind of scope that Tears of the Kingdom had in terms of its mechanics. I still think Zelda's going to win fucking easily, but I think it's got a chance. And I'm hoping it is, because I feel like Xbox needs a W, because they've literally sat on L's for so long that I think they need something good. And it looks good. It looks crazy. But it also looks massive, and it looks intimidating as fuck, so let's see how it plays out. Anyway, it's out September 6th. Good luck. I won't be here to cover it. Maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Hunter and I won't cover it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We might have to work some.
I look forward to Ethan's review, though.
3. Oh fucking hell. Yeah, look forward to my
His
review.
3-hour review of Starfield.
My Tim Rogers length review of it. Oh god. Anyway, Compulsion Games announced the South of Midnight, which is was in-engine footage. It was interesting. It had some interesting art direction and animation.
Yeah, it's got some interesting. It's got an interesting visual style to it. Like the way the guy's fingers moved on the guitar looked kind of like Spider-Verse-y in its animation there.
It was animated on like on a different. Yeah, it was like 5s or something like that. It was very kind of doing it. It's a different frame rate to the rate that the game's running.
So
like, it was
I was sitting there after the trailer trying to remember what Compulsion Games did, and I remembered they were the We Happy Few team, and that bodes interestingly for this game because this looks kind of cool. It didn't show us any gameplay, but it's got an interesting enough looking premise. But the problem with We Happy Few was the more they showed of that game, the less I became interested in it. The first time I saw
on 2 games as well, because there was a second game from them in this.
The first time I saw We Happy Few, I was like, "Oh, that looks cool. I'll play it." And then then eventually I saw enough of it. I'm like, "No, I don't think so." I hope that doesn't happen to this one because this looks cool, and I'd like to be interested in it.
Same. It looks interesting. But it was in between Fable and Star Wars, and me and Cal were like, one of these things is not like the others, right? Where it was like, 2 of these things are huge IPs, and the other one is a new game with a 20-second teaser that doesn't really give you what the actual game is. So it was like, very bizarre placement, but, cool nonetheless. It's interesting. Speaking of Star Wars, Ubisoft's Star Wars Outlaws is coming next year. It's massive games of Star Wars. It's called Star Wars Outlaws, which is a fair enough title. I think it beats Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order as a first name in a series. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I assume it will also be coming to PS5, but it is set for Series X and S.
I have to imagine it would be. There's no reason that Ubisoft would suddenly.
You making my life hard.
You good, bro?
You good, bro?
I apologize.
You good? I don't even have time to edit that. Enjoy that blooper, guys. Anyway. So it's called Star Wars Outlaws. It looked I like it. It was obviously CG, and we're getting gameplay today as of recording. Sorry, as of uploading because it is at the Ubisoft Forward.
I mean,
it
I'll
looked
look at the
fun.
gameplay to see what's up because, like, I'd be interested to play this. But also, if it's just another Ubisoft game with Star Wars on it, then I don't think I will.
Yeah.
You
They've
know?
already said it's open world, which is already red
Oh,
flagging it
good.
for me. But
Yeah. I'm willing to let it give me a chance or let it sell itself to me, though.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, next up, Forza is coming this October. Longer than I think any of us ever expected to wait for this Forza game. I think we all thought that it would be out by now. Still not coming out till October. October 10th. It's at the start of that.
Remember when you thought that this one was coming out before Horizon?
Yeah, because it was shown before Horizon.
Yeah.
This was shown in 2020, and it's only just coming in 4 months. It's not even ready yet.
What a world.
It was supposed to be out last year, got pushed to this spring, got pushed to this summer, got pushed to this October. This is having what I thought Starfield would have at the end of its run. I thought Starfield would be like, and September and November and surprise March 29th. That's what I thought Starfield would do. But no, Forza's doing it. It's bizarre. It'll be fine. It's a Forza game. It'll get an 88. We'll move on with our lives. Forza fans will be happy. Everyone else will move on. In Exile is making a game called Clockwork Revolution.
A lot of people wanted that to be BioShock.
Everyone thought it
I
was
was just thinking, was
BioShock.
this the BioShock game?
Yeah. And it's coming out in due time, which is their version of Magic in the Making, so expect it in 2027. It did look like it had a lot of inspiration from BioShock Infinite, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
Seems
Could be
fine.
cool.
I think the only problem, this is the problem that I have with a lot of Xbox showcases, and it sucks, right? Because it's not really a fair kind of like statement to make, but they always seem to have these like versions of games that we already have, but it's just like the we have this at home version of it, if that makes sense, where it's like here's BioShock at home. Even Lies of P, everyone's like, it's Bloodborne at home, right? And it's like they always have these games.
It is a really good version of it.
Yeah. Or like they had not like the Neo kind of game that came out earlier this year. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like kind of another kind of
The Like a Dragon Ishin?
No, not Like a Dragon Ishin. Like it was very much like a Neo clone. I can't remember what it was called. It was on Game Pass. Don't remember what it was called for the life of me.
Are you talking about the one that was from the Neo team?
Yeah, like the Neo game.
Wolong Fallen Dynasty?
Yeah, that Wolong Fallen Dynasty. That was what I was thinking of. Thank you. But, again, it's kind of like we have Sekiro at home, and it was like, this is, and it's like, these games are cool. It's on Game Pass day one, but it kind of does feel like sometimes these Game Pass games are just, look, it's this game you liked, but from a different team and probably slightly worse than the original, and it's like, I wish there was more unique ideas sometimes. It looks cool, though, still. I'm sure it'll be good. We'll see. Anyway, Atlas had something that wasn't leaked ahead of time. Metaphor Refantasio is coming from the creators of Persona. It is an RPG from the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5, which basically looks like people always... It looks to me like it is the mixture of SMT with Persona mechanics. This looks to be a nerdy RPG with the calendar and Persona social systems, which we'll see how it plays out.
I'll be interested to play it. It's
I think it'll be interesting. This game's been in development for so long.
It might be the kind of midpoint that some Persona fans need to dip their toe into to be more agreeable to looking into SMT.
Yeah.
Potentially. We'll see. Anyway, it's out next year. It's not coming to Game Pass, which was the only one that it's not. So it's not coming to Game Pass. And it's only on Xbox Series X and S so far. I expect, like everything that Atlas did last year, for it to be announced that to come into Steam and PlayStation 5 in approximately 2 days. So it'll probably be announced on Tuesday or Wednesday, guys. So hang in there, Persona fans. Try not to burst a blood vessel before that happens, because I know what you're like. It's stupid. Can we talk about how stupid that is? Like, I hate it. Like, I don't get it. Like, Phil Spencer is always going, oh, we're too good to have console exclusivity anymore, because, like, Sony's always nicking Square Enix games left, right, and center. But
Yeah.
why'd you do this kind of, you can play games wherever you want, but we're going to force people to only announce it for Xbox for 3 days. I'm like, what's the fucking point? Like, it's so
Yeah, it is
dumb.
weird, right? Like,
It's as if, because they did it on the PlayStation show where they were like, by the way, all these games are also coming to Xbox. Do they do it just so PlayStation can't do that fucking same tweet back and go, by the way, guys, all these are coming to PlayStation? Making the PlayStation intern wait 3 days before he uploads his 3x3? Is that what we're doing, guys? Come the fuck on. It seems like a
Xbox
waste of
seems
time.
petty enough to do that.
It just seems so dumb, especially because they're always trying to take the high horse mode of like, play wherever you want to play. We're Xbox, we don't care. But
well,
they're
yeah,
like,
yeah, they're always doing that, but it's also like very transparent that that's not the tune they would be singing if they were winning.
Yeah.
oh, 100%. And it's
Yeah.
stupid. I just hate it. But yes, it will be announced. It is coming to PS5. I doubt it's coming to Switch if it's if it's a Series X and PS5 exclusive though. The other ones are though. Anyway, we'll talk about those later. Get your copium out for that. Spiritfarer Studio reveals a new co-op action game called 33 Immortals. It's a top-down.
Heard Thunder Lotus's name here, and my ears perked up, and then they said the rest of the description, and I was like, oh.
No, I think this game actually looks pretty good, to be honest. So it's obviously got the hand-drawn visuals of Spiritfarer. I think my favorite part of it though is, and me and Kyle both kind of laughed at it, was 33-player co-op.
That does seem pretty
Yeah.
silly. Like I like it did. Like the general idea kind of brought me down, but the more I watched it, I was like, still be worth a try.
It looks like one of those games where you could still play it by yourself.
Yeah,
and
you
have a
could
good
probably
time.
still play it by yourself
100%.
because it didn't look like 33 people weren't even always on the screen there. Sometimes you saw
Sometimes
like
it was
2 or 3
or one. There was
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway, yeah, it's called 33 Immortals. I'm now putting a ban on the word immortals in video game titles. We've had too much of that in the past 5
honestly,
years. It's
yeah.
banned. It's a terrible word for everything now. We've had Immortals Phoenix Rising, we have that Immortals EA game, and now we have this. We can fuck off with that. Come on.
What gives Discord?
Nope, we've lost Hunter again.
Have we?
I think we have.
Yeah, he looks lost.
He looks lost. Give us a second.
Anyways, we can just talk about Payday. Let him sort this out.
Cool. Well, enjoy video, viewers. You're going to see some cringe here. Payday 3 gameplay reveal and release date as Hunter tries to figure his shit out. Payday 3 is coming this September 21st to...
The Wi-Fi broken too.
Game
No,
Pass.
not the Wi-Fi.
Okay, the rest... Discord just hates me today. I'm sorry.
You hear us?
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
good. We could hear you that entire time.
Nah,
Oh
you're
well,
good, fam.
it's fine. We're recording this late. I apologize for the quality. I'm sorry. It's all good. Anyway, Payday 3 is coming
Blame
in...
Jeff and the scheduling.
Yeah. Blame Phil and his stupid Sunday schedule for Xbox Showcase. Anyway,
God,
it's coming
why
to
doesn't Phil think about us?
September
Oh,
21st. Why weren't you guys at Days of Play or whatever the fuck it's called? Dude, like, come the hell on, Jeff. Hunter would have loved to have played Foam Stars. Come on. Anyway, it's probably coming to PS5. It's on Game Pass day one, which is a big get for Payday, to be honest. So if you're into Payday, have a ball, I guess. It looks like more Payday. That's all I can say. You've waited 10 years for more Payday, I think. So it's all cool. Biggest shock of the show. No one saw this one coming, especially not 2 days beforehand. Persona 3 Reload was officially revealed. Shout outs to the Atlas social media intern for leaking this one out for us. Good shit.
On the wrong show.
On the
yeah.
wrong
And then
show.
promptly getting fired afterwards.
Rest easy. But yeah, after multiple leaks, Persona 3 Reload is finally here. It's coming early 2024 to Xbox Game Pass. So, a lot of information has come out in the hours since then, so we're going to go over everything that's happened. First off, probably a good thing, new English voice cast. Not just a couple of people, an entirely new voice cast. And these two over here, who are more cultured in video games, are telling me that it's actually a pretty solid voice cast. So
It's
Yeah,
a super
yeah.
strong
That's-
cast.
Everyone I recognize, I've been like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. I'm always happy to see them in new things. Dawn Bennett, she was in Dragon Ball Super. She voiced Kale, I believe.
Yeah.
Susie
Dawn-
Young, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Zeno Robinson, he was in Street Fighter 6 as DJ. Allegra Clark is Allegra Clark. She's fantastic.
She's in a lot of stuff. And
She's in a
really
lot of
good.
stuff.
She's in a lot of. That's the one person that I was like, I recognize you.
Alex Lee is voicing the protagonist. He
Who has
voiced Luke.
he has got the Yuri Lowen full approval as well.
He got the Lowenthal seal of approval.
You can all rest easy. But no, it does seem like a genuinely solid cast. I'm interested to see their takes on it. It's going to be interesting. We've heard no voice acting at all.
Yeah, it's all just been the announcements.
I think it's going to be very interesting because there are two ways this can go here. They could either just be doing their own takes on these characters, or they're going to be doing their own takes on the previous performances, which I am very interested to see which one they go with. I don't know which one I'd want, to be honest. I kind of hope they bring their own stuff to it, to be honest, and just go all out. Because
I'd like to see their own takes.
Because I think if you're going to do it, and especially in the way they're doing it, at least give us something new. So there you go. Hold one out. So, things that have been confirmed. There are new things. There is a kitchen now, so that you can let them cook. You have got player control. Congratulations, guys. You'll have player control in another Persona 3 remake. So that is there. What won't be there is everything. No. Atlas has already confirmed there is no FES content or P3P content, no FEMC, no fun for you or me, cry, Persona 3.
Fiddly dee.
Fiddly dee.
Fiddly dee.
It's crazy. So right now we're playing the copium game of what does no FES content mean? Does it mean what it says on the tin, where it means nothing from FES, or does it just mean know the answer?
Good day, sir.
Yeah. Me and Kyle are hoping that it just means know the answer and everything else stays, is our hope, in terms of quality of life and other little bits and pieces. Like it seems stupid to me because there are small changes, but they're big in terms of there's just an extra couple of cutscenes to make Junpei's character a bit better and more interesting and stuff like that, that I can't see why they would not do it when it's only adding a cutscene. It's not even changing gameplay or anything like that. It seems bizarre to me.
We all know that Atlas is going to sell the answer back to us for $20 DLC six months after this game comes out.
That's reasonable. I think they're going to sell it as a $60 remaster like they did with Royal.
Yeah, like
if they do that better be like future redeemed quality.
You know that's not happening.
What I
know it's not.
Completely rewrite the extra bit there.
Yeah, fuck it. Do whatever. Reality can be whatever you want at this point.
Yeah, but it's like, it's very weird to me because it's like, there is new stuff. Like I say, new kitchen, new cutscenes,
maybe
new
it
dialogue.
might be a sense of they're going to add new things that weren't from FES instead.
I'm thinking that is what it is, but they're also calling it a faithful remake. So,
nah.
We don't know. Like I say, that kitchen is entirely new. So that is entirely new. So they've already given us an example. I know it's a fucking kitchen. So this is like, we're clutching straws here, right? But there is a kitchen. So it's like, there is something new. And my hope is things like Agas's social link, these couple of cutscenes, they still remain. And I'm hoping that they're saying when they're saying we're doing a true remake of Persona 3, they mean the base story as it was in FES. That's what they're doing, and not additional answer or female protagonist. Maybe they'll sell those later. But it is kind of crazy how quickly Atlas can continue the ever-going cycle of excited, immediate disappointment. Yeah. Atlas doesn't understand why people are disappointed. People aren't hyped for the video game. The cycle continues over and over and over again. Because it's just like, I don't understand why you do it. I just don't get it. It seems stupid. We'll have to wait and see. That's my thing, is don't throw all the shit out of the pram just yet. There could still be more that they're not talking about. I don't see why they would go out of their way. If it was a fateful here's my copium, right? If it was a fateful remake where it was 1-to-1 and they changed absolutely nothing, they would have gone the Konami route of reusing the Metal Gear Solid 3 voice lines. I don't think if there was nothing new, they would have gone out of their way to redo the entire voice cast. Especially in Japan, when they've got the exact same voice cast. They're bringing them all in to do all the lines again. There's no reason for them to do that if there isn't new shit to be recording. So,
yeah.
For now, I'd say hold out hope. There is probably new stuff in here. But who knows? We'll have to fucking copium on that one until it comes out. my guess, again, January. That is also my guess for that one. It'll probably be the same period when Persona 4 and 3 got released this year for PS4 and Xbox would be my guess. So it's so funny that it's like we're gonna have P3 in January 2 years in a row. So there you go.
It is weird.
Might be 3 years if they do it again for the
for
added benefits.
Persona Reloaded.
Reloaded, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Reloaded.
Persona 3 Relocked
It's so
and
stupid.
Reloaded.
I feel like we all knew that FMC, for better or for worse, wouldn't be in the video game. I think we all came to terms with that not happening. No one fucking on the planet believed that they wouldn't do the FES content. Everyone just assumed that they would do an FES with party control. That's what I think everyone was expecting, but no.
Yeah.
You would think so, yeah.
I don't know. Atlas is slowly moving up on the list of companies that make things I like that I'm definitely losing faith in.
Oh, 100%.
Also featured on that list are like Game Freak and Square Enix. So
it's just stupid. It is bizarre. But oh well. Speaking of Atlas, Persona 5 Tactica revealed. It is coming out in November, on November 17th, just in time for my birthday. Wow, thank you, Atlas.
Great birthday present.
Yeah, I love tactics games.
Happy birthday, it's more Persona 5.
Oh, just what I wanted, dude. I hope they do 3 days early access so that it releases on my actual birthday. That'll be epic. Anyway, yeah, it's a tactics game. It's got a chibi art style, and it's coming to Game Pass and Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Windows PC. It'll also be coming, we didn't say this about Persona 3 Remake, to PS5, PS4, and Nintendo Switch, because they're both already confirmed to be coming to it. It's just Phil's being a dickhead. Anyway, I think it looks cute. It's harmless, right? I don't personally care about things changing up its art style. To be honest, I kind of like it. I love the little. I don't know if you guys have looked at the screenshots. I absolutely love the HUD elements at like the bottom right. Like they've all got new little sprites next to like their usual HP and SP meters, and they're all super cutesy and very fun. I like the way that everything kind of looks. I think it'll be solid. Is it going to change the world? No, but I think it'll be in the similar way to Q1 and 2, where it's just going to be a solid like 80 and people
like if I'm not busy trying to still play things that came out in October, I'd be probably down to give this a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably check it out. If anything with Game Pass, I'll check it out. We'll see.
Yeah, this seems like a really good backlog kind of game. Like after December ends and you're in the lull of January,
or even that
seems like a good place to slot that in.
Yeah,
or even in December.
Yeah, if there's nothing in December.
Yeah,
we'll see. Sea of Thieves gets a Monkey Island crossover. Pretty cool. I don't get why you guys still play Sea of Thieves, but very cool. I appreciate it.
The same reason people still play Microsoft Flight Simulator, probably.
Well, to be fair to them,
crossover.
Yeah, it gets a Dune crossover and a new game. Where it looks like they're taking the simulator part of Flight Sim and toning it down a slight bit for this new one, because they're adding a load of fun shit to it, like races and escort missions and all that jazz. Who asked for Flight Simulator escort missions? Who fucking knows, but they're coming. Also, there's a Dune thing coming if you like Dune. Knock yourselves out. This one, I don't think anybody's surprised at. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2 is coming next year. It is a 2024 game. Xbox has games in 2024. Again, it looks good. It still looks visually impressive. It still looks good.
Yeah.
Any comments, Hunter? Or
so obviously I'm super interested in this because I loved the other one. I'll be interested to see where they take Senua's story again, see what else they have to tell in that regard. I don't really know if this helps anyone who didn't already like the other game, though.
It did nothing for me, I'll be honest.
It did nothing for me.
So, so far they've just kind of shown you cool cinematics and whatnot, and cool. It looks good. It seems like the performance is still going to be, top tier and all that, but I don't know. It doesn't really. They haven't really shown what they would be doing to advance Senua as far as the gameplay is concerned, and I think people might care about that a bit more now that it's kind of this. I feel like this is what a bunch of people who have an Xbox are going to flock to as the give us something like what PlayStation has kind of game.
And
know?
I still don't know if it will hit in the same way. Like, here's the thing, right? I think it looks good, and I think that people who are excited for it are going to have a blast, and I think it's going to be a great game. But I don't think it's going to hit those kind of same notes that a Sony first-party release ever will. And I don't need.
I mean,
that.
not definitely not to the general public.
Yeah, and I'm not saying in terms of quality. I'm just saying, yeah, in terms of general.
With you, I said
public.
It was sacrifice more than PlayStation's slate of first-party games from the PS4. So it wouldn't shock me if I liked this more than all of them too. But as far as like it probably won't hit that way for most people. Yeah, you're right. I would love for it to, though.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, it's out next year. RPG fans, if you didn't think that early 2024 was packed enough, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth revealed for early 2024. So we have, in the span of early 2024 is January, February, March. In the span of 3 months, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Persona 3 Reload, and Yakuza 8 all in the same span.
Incredible.
Fucking hell. Anybody else want to join this party? I feel Tekken might have a chance. I feel like it might have a chance. They're starting to do the beta tests, like they're doing the tests for Tekken.
Dude, I signed up for that.
Yeah, it could happen. Anyway, Yakuza 8 is now called Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. It had a cutscene of Ichiban ending up on a beach in LA completely naked as everyone points at him and acts confused. I loved it. It looks goofy as hell. I haven't played Like a Dragon. I haven't seen much of Ichiban, but every single video or screenshot I've ever seen of him, I am instantly in love with him. I think he's I can already tell he's an incredible character in a video game, and I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will not play it probably at launch, but I can't wait to eventually catch up in the year 2028. We shall see. But yeah, 2024, fucking hell. What a time to be alive. That'll be crazy.
It's gonna be a busy time for us, dude.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy time indeed. Capcom reveals Path of the Goddess. We're not talking about Fallout 76. Fuck you. 16 times the detail. No. But yeah, Capcom reveals Path of the Goddess. It's a brand new game. It looks like it's an action game, and it has horror themes. I'm sure Hunter will probably check it out.
Probably, yes. So this one, in a similar way to how Exoprimal debated me into thinking they were making a Dino Crisis, the visual aesthetic of this made me think of Onimusha, except I didn't feel nearly as violent when it turned out to not be Onimusha. This actually still looks like it'll be pretty interesting, so I'll be interested to look at it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm just having a look. Sorry, things are coming out as we're still talking. So I was just saying, this one's for Star Wars, Hunter, a new tiny bit of information for Star Wars. It is open world. It is next gen only. It's set between Empire and Return of the Jedi, so that's good news, because I am sick of games being set...
set in between the two trilogies there.
Yeah, I'm sick of that gap. The fucking Dave Filoni gap of between episodes 3 and 4. I'm sick of it. Because at first it was like, oh, that's cool with Jedi Fallen Order. That's cool with Mandalorian. But fucking everything's in that gap. And I'm like, leave the gap alone.
Doesn't Mandalorian happen after?
Pardon?
Doesn't Mandalorian happen? Yeah, but Ahsoka could have just survived. No,
it takes place between 3 and 4. Mandalorian does.
I thought it happened after.
No, Luke Skywalker's in it. Oh no, it does. No, it does take place after. I am stupid. It does take place after. Yeah. I'm stupid.
I only watched one episode of the show, Ethan. How do I know this?
I haven't watched it in 3 years. I haven't watched it in 3 years. Shut the fuck up. You think I like Star Wars, you little shit? No.
But anyway,
fucking. Why don't you deaf and can't hear us disconnect and fuck off, dude? I don't care. Anyway, it's open world.
That's a good spot for it though, because they don't. Other things don't even tend to even mess with the actual timeline of where the movies are happening, let alone in between two of them that are, not the ends of the trilogy.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, fuck you. And fuck you, Kyle. Here's one for you as well, so you can be pissed off as well. There'll be DLC for Persona 5 Tactica. That's probably where Akechi is.
Yeah,
he's
it
in
is.
He's in a paid DLC, and also
Yeah.
the leaker who leaked all the other shit also said, Akechi isn't the only DLC character, so expect some fun surprises. AKA, probably expect Samir, fucking Kasumi, Sophia, and Zenkichi might be in that DLC as well. Basically, the fuck you tax
having all
DLC.
three of it, having all of them would be pretty fun. Yeah, since they
just
didn't
call
get
it,
to interact in the other one.
Just call it the fuck you tax, basically. Like, genuinely. Like, there you go. Hope you like it.
And there's case in point for why I'm losing faith in Atlas.
Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry as well.
God, could you imagine?
That'd be so good.
Also, the English version of the P3 website is up, so might as well read this one out for you as well.
Oh boy.
Experience the pivotal game of the Persona series faithfully remade with cutting-edge graphics, modernized quality of life features, and signature stylish UI. I love how it's signature now. It was one game, and now it's the signature, apparently. Everything must have Persona. I noticed that. Atlas, I like stylish UI. We don't have to do it for we don't have to have the Persona stylish UI for everything. Because I noticed it with the P3 one, and the P3 one's pretty fucking sick, to be honest. I like the water, very cool. But then even with the Project Fantasy, it has the same kind of skewy kind of like text on the side. I'm like, come on, guys.
You're talking about the other one,
Memento, whatever it's called. Yeah,
whatever it was.
And I was like, that one also.
I feel like they went a little nuts with that one as far as you getting like portraits and stuff in the background.
Yeah, I thought I was a bit too busy, to be honest.
I was like, you maybe need to chill a little, but okay.
That photo of Lemmy, that photo of Lemmy, like, oh god, it's blinding me of how cluttered that thing is. Hate it. But also, it did say, fully immerse yourself in an emotional, gripping journey with new scenes, character interactions, and additional voiceover. That's all we have, folks. That could mean anything.
It sure could.
Can't
wait for the whole story to be different.
New scenes could mean we've just done the scenes again in the new version. Character interactions could mean new character interactions, or it could just mean, again, we've redone some of it. And additional voiceover, for all I know, could just mean, because Cal will know this, none of the social links had any voiceover whatsoever. They might have just turned some of the non-voice things into voice things.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? I hope they give you an option to fan zone people. That's my only hope. That's the only faith I have in Atlas at the moment. Which they probably will. That's probably a quality of life. They probably consider that quality of life. Anyway, we're near the end, I swear.
Can we start shotgunning some of these?
No. Towerborn.
Please.
Doom. Still Wakes the Deep. Gets a short teaser trailer. That looks like a horror game. That looks
kind of cool.
Kind of looks cool. City Skylines 2 is coming out in that same fucking week as everything else. Hope you enjoy that one, city builders. Don't Nod reveals a game, climbing game called Jasant, which again, doing something different. I liked the idea of this one more because it was just a bit more unique to me. But
I hope one of these little branching out projects for Don't Nod works out for them. Because I would hate for them to feel like they're pigeonholed into only doing the Life is Strange stuff.
Especially because they don't own Life is Strange anymore.
Yeah.
And it seems like Deck 9 is the Life is Strange team now. So it's like, that's why they didn't tell me why.
Yeah. Because, like, it would probably really suck to try and do this other stuff, have it not work out, and just resentfully go back to your narrative adventure games. It would probably, the following narrative adventure project would probably suffer for it too. So I hope that one of these works out for them.
Same. I do hope that too. Like I say, I love Don't Nod, man. But like I say, been playing Life is Strange again. Life is Strange is such a fucking good video game where I'm like, playing through it again, I respect it so much more because you just pick up on stuff that you didn't originally. You're like, God, so fucking good. Love it to pieces. And I've never loved anything from them since as much as I did that first Life is Strange game. So I'm like, come on, I believe in you, Don't Nod. You can make something that I love again. I believe. I love Tell Me Why quite a bit, but still not as much as the original Life is Strange. But oh well, you know, they just nailed it first try. That's all they did. Yeah. It's fine. Anyway, and that's it. We're done. Any final thoughts? Any closing thoughts? I know Kyle wants to go eat, so that's why he's rushing us along. So any closing thoughts?
Xbox has games.
They do.
Yeah,
finally.
It seems
2024 is their year.
It's their year to fumble.
At this point, yeah.
Sony has nothing at this rate from the looks of it, other than fucking games as a service.
Oh god.
Maybe Death Stranding 2, if you're lucky, might be next year.
And who knows what
and even
Nintendo's
then, I
doing?
wouldn't-
Nintendo might have a new console, but from the sounds of it, it looks like that won't be till late next year anyway. So they genuinely might have free range here for the first half of 2024. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
And as for Jeff, keep trying, Jeff. One day you'll get it.
Yeah.
Game Awards was pretty good last year, Jeff. So if you're making these shows shit again just to make Game Awards good, then I'll take it. I genuinely will.
Having one good Kiwi show rather than 3 that are completely mediocre, I'll settle for.
Amen. Amen. Anyway, all links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on podcast on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with us, or go to podcast services. You do fucking you. I don't mind. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Games Only, or look for us on podcast services at just search for Hot Games Only, or go to youtube.com/Hot Games Only. Look at our stupid faces every week. Yeah, and subscribe so we can do that spoiler cast, because we'll probably record it this week at some point anyway.
We're gonna record
before we
anyway.
forget. Before we forget what the actual video game was. But if you'd like to see that,
don't worry, I will not be forgetting. I've got Zelda Brain Rot.
Yeah, of
for
course.
the
And
rest of the
Ethan
year.
had a notebook. He won't forget either.
I have like 16 pages of Tears of the Kingdom.
Damn.
So it's fine. I was
Good work,
like, should I start writing this for every game? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this for Life is Strange. 'cause I
That'd be
already
a lot
know-
of work for
Yeah,
every
I also
game.
already know the plot of Life is Strange. There's no point in
Yeah.
writing notes on it if I know what the twist is. Like, there's no
Yeah.
point.
Like, I do it for mystery games because it's fun to, like, show it to other people who play it later. Be like, this is where my head was at when I was playing it.
Oh, I probably will do that as well, because I'll probably do it for whatever that Raincode game is, because I'm gonna get Raincode.
Yeah. I was
It's on
I'll
Switch.
definitely do
I
that
can
for
play it in
Raincode.
I can play it in handheld mode. It'll be a good game after I've played Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
We shall see. And after I have played 6 million hours of Crash Team Rumble, game of the century. Anyway, that's it for this week. Next week, is there no games next week?
I don't think so.
Damn
No.
it! We're gonna have to do
Next
something
week's the
else.
off week. Don't worry, Nintendo will announce a direct for next week and we'll be saved.
Oh, thank
Okay.
God for that. Thank God for that. But yeah, next week we will have an on-topic, and then obviously the week after, extremely busy, as we will have the small game Final Fantasy 16 and the game of the century Crash Team Rumble.
And
both
the
releasing.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, and the Juggernaut and the the heavyweight and the lightweight. And I'll let you
Heavyweight
choose which one.
champion.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we got plenty of games coming up, and then the week after that's Raincode, right? So we got plenty of stuff. Anyway, we'll be
I
back.
can't believe it had to hit me one more time at the end of the show.
What? Oh, it's okay. It's over.
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Oh well. Anyway, it's all over. Thank you ever so much
Hurry
for
before
listening
we
to this
lose
train
him again.
wreck. I'm the one that's had a thunderstorm, and I'm fine. Anyway, that's all for this week. Thank you ever so much for listening / watching. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week. I'm going to rush this out right now. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.